Hi, Mark.
How are you, Steve?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful morning.
It's a beautiful Monday morning. It is really pretty out.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good time to go check out the Renaissance Fair.
So tell me about the Renaissance Fair. I'm new in Charlotte.
Well, a lot of cities have them, and it's up near Huntersville. That's the big one. It's at a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see people wearing costumes and juggling things. And
it must be a good time because I've had like a half a dozen people recommend it to me.
It is. And you'll hear music from the Renaissance. Oh my gosh! What a coincidence.
That's my bag.
Yeah,
hey.
Sorry. All right. I learned from the best. We're looking at Lutheran Service Book 544, Oh Love, How Deep.
You're right, though. Thomas à Kempis wrote this.
Yeah.
The tune is 15th century.
Yeah, so it's borderline English Renaissance.
Yeah.
The English were a little late to the Renaissance party. The Italians kind of started it. But it kind of has that sort of feeling to it. But anyways, the Parable of the Tenants is this Sunday. And, looking at that, thinking about what it means in our lives, how does that apply to us? I always try to think about the parables whenever Jesus is telling a parable. How does that apply to us? So, quick recap, right? They kill all the workers, and then the vineyard owner or whatever is like, I'm going to send my son. They won't kill him.
Right.
Lo and behold.
But they do.
Yeah. So, who are we in the story? And I always try to think about those things.
Sure. So I'm actually struggling a little bit to think, where's the connection piece between a gospel story like that, which is sort of a judgment story, right?
Yeah.
And a hymn like this, Oh Love, How Deep. We are, of course, at least the Lutheran approach would be, we're the tenant owners,
right,
who have, by our sin, rejected the Lord's ownership of us and sort of made a mess of his property, right, planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when he sent his son, rather than accept his lordship, say, oh my gosh, you're right, like here's a guy who actually does know how to take care of this place and has the rightful way of being king, we just killed him.
And in the parable, it's interesting because it doesn't say that from the perspective of the father sending the son. The father doesn't say, I'm going to send my son and he's going to crack the whip and set them in their place and tell them what's up, read them their rights.
Surely they will respect my son.
Yeah. Which, anyway. But that, I think, is where this hymn ties in to that lesson, because this hymn is all about Christ's humility and being sent in not on a triumphant entry like you would expect a king to normally do, but rather being sent for us in like I said, in humility. He sent no angel to our race of higher or of lower place, but he wore the robe of human frame, and to this world himself he came.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of refreshing to think that your king can understand what you go through, because he also was a human. He also was hungry and thirsty, and he cried, and he bled and died. Hey, I could be a poet.
Yeah, so he entered our world of sin, took on the consequences of that sin, right? We were the ones who were wrong.
Right.
He paid the price. It's interesting to me that the parable, Jesus does this often with his parables. He stops before God's judgment, right? So he says, it's actually a question I think he asked the people who are listening to him. What do you think the owner then ought to do, the master should do,
right, to
those wicked tenants?
Yeah.
He doesn't picture the master coming, destroying all the tenants. He puts a question to us. What do you think the master should do? So really, God's active part in that whole story, the part that he does play is nothing but, grace, but love. He doesn't step in as soon as he sees that the tenants are his enemies and wipe them all out. He sends them prophet after prophet. He finally sends his own son, thinking, surely they'll respect my son. And now that they've killed the son, Jesus puts the question to us. And the thing is, Jesus is the son, right?
Right.
He's here.
He's almost speaking in first person, or in third person.
Right, yeah.
Almost.
He's describing himself.
Yeah.
And and what's going to happen to him. But we understand that we are being saved by this act, by God's incredible love.
Yeah, and it's a love, like the title says, it's deep, broad, and high, beyond all thought and fantasy, which, if you really wanted to pronounce that right, you would pronounce it fantasy. Never mind. But it's a reminder that even though we have rejected the cornerstone, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is God still loves us.
Yeah,
we're still underneath that umbrella of love, His love.
It is an incredible grace, an overwhelming grace. And it is Jesus presents it in a way that's really counterintuitive. It surpasses human understanding, right? We would say, well, those evil guys have to be destroyed by God, and that means that He can't love them, and that they can't be saved. But God's love actually blows all of that context away, and He says, no, I'm actually going to recreate those evil guys. I'm going to recreate this evil world because I'm God, and my love is that great. It's really cool how we can sing a song like this about a story like that.
Yeah.
And St. Thomas à Kempis, well, a guy obviously knew what he was doing. As did a lot of those Renaissance guys. It had to be a lot of benefit to thinking about something, and not being distracted by television or day job or whatever. Just like these Renaissance men did.
Maybe so.
Well, they have intense arguments. Paul Domeyer said this in Bible study the other day. Intense arguments about what's God made of. We'd rather discuss The Bachelorette. What happened last night?
Not me.
Nor I, for the record.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for taking us through it, Mark.
Absolutely. Yeah. I look forward to getting to sing this with you. This is a fun, exciting little tune with a little bit of a lilt to it.
It's a beautiful tune. I love it.
Yeah, it is. So check out our channel. We'll have a couple of videos about that here, so you can prepare and listen for it. Get yourself ready for Sunday worship. We look forward to joining you.
Be well.
Have a great week.